What happens when a billionaire's grief collides with a medical mistake, and a virgin's entire life is flipped overnight? Nia didn't even want to be in that hospital. She'd only agreed because her best friend tricked her into entering a free fertility wellness program. Come on, Nia, they're giving away free checkups and $100 gift cards. You're broke, go, her friend had said, shoving the hospital pamphlet in her hand. She was 22, beautiful, untouched, and painfully naive about how cruel the world could be. That day, Dr. Evelyn Musa was supposed to administer a simple hormone booster as part of Nia's health package. But in a flurry of chaos, caused by a nurse fainting in the hallway and alarms going off in the fertility wing, Musa grabbed the wrong syringe, a syringe labeled ZD-03 Cryobank VIP. ZD stood for Zaid Darzi, the elusive Arab billionaire CEO, heir to the Darzi conglomerate, and a man nursing a heart shattered by tragedy. 3 years ago, he lost his wife and son in a mysterious car crash. Since then, he had vanished from public life, until recently, when rumors leaked he was preserving his sperm at an elite fertility clinic, allegedly searching for a surrogate in secret. That sperm now lived inside Nia, and she had no idea, until 6 weeks later, when she fainted on her way to work and woke up in a clinic with a nurse smiling awkwardly. Congratulations, Miss Nia, you're 8 weeks pregnant. Her scream could have cracked glass. I'm a virgin, she blurted. The entire room froze. Dr. Musa, pale and shaking, arrived moments later. There's been a mistake, she said, whispering as if admitting it aloud might summon the devil himself. You weren't supposed to be inseminated. This wasn't meant for you. Nia's breath caught. Then who was it meant for? That's when the clinic director walked in, holding a sleek black folder. He opened it, and on the top page was a contract, bearing a gold seal, and a name, Zaid Amir Darzi. The billionaire, the widower, the ghost who ruled Dubai's skyline. Nia stood, trembling. Are you telling me I'm carrying an Arab billionaire's baby? The director closed the folder slowly. No, Miss Nia, you're carrying his heir. And just like that, her ordinary life turned into a scandal with global consequences. Zaid Darzi had not stepped foot in Africa in over a decade, not since closing his copper refinery project in Ghana. But when his legal team delivered the shocking news that his sperm had been used in an accidental insemination of an unknown woman, the grief-stricken billionaire didn't hesitate. He booked a private jet, summoned his most loyal bodyguard, and flew straight to Nigeria. This is a mess, his assistant muttered during the flight. We'll sue them, sir. This girl, whoever she is, will be compensated, silenced, and this will all go away. Zaid didn't respond. He stared out the window, eyes stormy, fingers gripping the rosary his late wife used to wear. He hadn't cried in years, not when he buried his wife, not even when he saw his son's toy rabbit still lying on their living room floor. But this news, this impossible accident, it rattled him in ways he didn't understand. He thought he'd buried all feelings with his family. But something about this girl, this virgin, this African woman now carrying his unborn child, his only legacy, stirred something dangerous inside him. Meanwhile, Nia was pacing in her small, one-room apartment, clutching the ultrasound image like it was a grenade. Every phone call from the clinic sent her into a panic. She hadn't told anyone, not her parents, not even her nosy neighbor, Mama Kemi, who seemed to have binoculars for eyes and the gossip speed of a Formula One car. She didn't know whether to scream or cry when a long black convoy pulled up outside her building. 3 black SUVs, dark windows, security men in suits, and then, he stepped out. Zaid Amir Darzi, 6'4", dressed in a midnight black designer kaftan with gold embroidery, his eyes hidden behind sleek sunglasses, his aura so powerful that the neighborhood fell silent as he walked. And when he removed those glasses, Nia forgot how to breathe. He didn't smile, didn't greet, he looked her dead in the eye and said, "You're the one. The one who carries my blood." She stammered, I didn't ask for this." He cut her off, "Neither did I, but now that it's done, you belong to me." Nia took a step back. "Excuse me? I came to claim my child," Zaid said. "And the mother comes with it. You can't just own people," she fired back, her voice shaking. Zaid's eyes darkened. "You're carrying my heir. In my world, that makes you royalty. And royalty doesn't live in a slum. Pack your things. I'm not going anywhere." Zaid paused, then smirked like he just found a new toy to play with. "You're stubborn. That's good. My son will need a mother who doesn't back down." Then he turned to his guards. "Bring her." The guards moved. Nia screamed. The entire neighborhood came out shouting, but no one dared touch the men with guns. And just like that, Nia was swept into a billionaire's world she never asked for. A world full of silk sheets, blood contracts, luxury cages, and secrets waiting to explode. She thought being pregnant was the nightmare, until she became property in a palace full of secrets, and one very dangerous ex. Zaid flew Nia out of Lagos that same night. No passport, no luggage, no choice. She landed in Dubai like a fugitive smuggled into a kingdom, whisked away in an armored Rolls-Royce and driven through desert roads flanked by golden dunes and silence. At the edge of the city, beyond the towering skyscrapers and billionaire beach resorts, stood the oasis, a hidden estate with walls so high and cameras so advanced, even birds needed clearance to fly overhead. "This is your new home," Zaid said simply. Nia's jaw dropped as she stepped inside. Marble floors, gold chandeliers, indoor waterfalls, an elevator in the bedroom, robotic assistants, maids who bowed like servants in a royal court. Everything screamed luxury, but to Nia, it screamed prison. "I want to go home," she muttered. Zaid turned to her, his gaze unreadable. "You are home. Until the child is born, you don't leave." Her eyes flared. "What if I do?" "You won't." He said it like a threat, but worse, like a promise. "If anything happens to that baby, I will unleash war on your country's medical board. On your doctors, on everyone who let this happen." "You think this is my fault?" she snapped. "No," he said, voice low. "But you will carry it like it's sacred." "Because it is." Nia sat on the bed that night, wrapped in silk sheets that smelled like rose oil and power. She stared at her tiny bump, barely showing, and whispered, "What have they done to us?" But across the estate, someone else was watching. Layla, Zaid's ex-fiancée, the woman he was supposed to marry before he met his late wife. The woman who never forgave him for choosing someone else. The woman who had clawed her way back into his inner circle the moment his wife and son died. And now, she saw it all unraveling again. Another woman, another womb, another threat to her crown. "She's pregnant?" Layla whispered, spying from behind the hallway curtains as Nia wandered the marble halls. Her assistant nodded silently. Layla smiled, then slapped the girl across the face. "She won't live long enough to deliver that child." Meanwhile, Nia was discovering something far more dangerous than Layla's jealousy. She found it while exploring Zaid's study. A locked drawer, cracked open. Inside it was a locket. A woman's necklace, with a photo of Zaid, his wife, and a child. But the photo wasn't just a memory. On the back, scrawled in Arabic, were the words, "My son lives. Trust no one." Nia's heart thundered. What if the son they said died, didn't? And what if this whole, accidental insemination, wasn't an accident at all? A grieving billionaire, a fake death, a hidden child, and the virgin now caught in the middle of a conspiracy no one is supposed to survive. Nia couldn't sleep, she couldn't eat, she couldn't stop staring at the photograph in her hand, the one she'd found in Zaid's drawer. The one with a message that felt like a warning. "My son lives. Trust no one." But wasn't his son dead? Zaid had told the world that his wife and child died in a car explosion 3 years ago on the border of Oman. The media mourned. Billionaire tabloids published sob stories for weeks. He had disappeared after the burial and only returned to the public eye months ago. But now there was this photo. And it changed everything. That night, Nia crept into the east wing of the mansion, off limits to everyone. She used the baby monitor to tap into the security system Zaid had shown her by accident. What she found? A secret nursery. It wasn't dusty. It wasn't abandoned. It was active. Toys recently played with, milk bottles still warm, drawings on the walls in fresh crayon, the unmistakable smell of baby lotion. "There's a child here." She was about to sneak out when she heard the soft giggle of a toddler down the hallway. Then, footsteps. Heavy, slow, calculated. Nia ducked behind a curtain just as Zaid walked past, holding a sleeping little boy. He kissed the boy's forehead and whispered, "You're still my best secret." Nia clutched her mouth to silence her gasp. He lied to the world. His son isn't dead, but why? Why fake his son's death? And why search for a new heir if he already had one? Back in her golden cage of a room, Nia tried to piece it together. The fake death, the secret child, the sudden push to create a new heir. Was someone trying to kill his real son? Was she just a backup plan? The next morning, Nia confronted Zaid. "You told me your son died," she said, staring him down. Zaid's face turned to stone. "You went through my things. I saw him." Silence. Then Zaid poured himself a glass of black coffee, eyes never leaving hers. His mother was murdered, and someone wanted him dead too. I faked his death to protect him. Nia's voice shook. So why make me pregnant? Why risk everything with this? Me. Zaid set the glass down with a thud. Because the people who want my son dead still believe he's gone. But if they find out he's alive, they'll come back. This child in your womb? It's the decoy, the one the world will watch. And while all eyes are on you, my son remains safe. Nia staggered back. You used me. I saved my child. You trapped me. I protected you from worse. Before she could storm out, he grabbed her wrist gently, but firmly. I never expected you, but now that you're here, I will protect you too. And for a fleeting second, Nia saw something behind his cold exterior: pain, desperation, maybe even guilt. But across the mansion, behind another curtain, someone else had heard everything. Layla, her lips curled into a cruel smile. So, the bastard child's alive, and the virgin's baby is a pawn? She reached for her phone and dialed a number that hadn't been called in 3 years. They'll want to know, she whispered. Tell the sheikh. The Darzi heir still lives. The truth is out. A jealous ex has made the call. And now assassins are flying across borders, with only one mission: kill the real heir, and make the virgin vanish forever. The storm came fast. 3 days after Nia uncovered Zaid's secret, everything around her started to change. Security doubled. Cameras were repositioned to follow her every move, not just for protection, but surveillance. Zaid stopped sleeping. He stopped smiling. And when he looked at her, it wasn't with the same cold distance. It was something worse. Fear. But not for himself. For her. Nia, he said quietly one night, you need to marry me. She choked on her tea. Excuse me? Now. Today. I already told the media we've been engaged in secret. We'll make it official. You what? If you are my wife, he said calmly, they can't touch you without declaring war on the entire house of Darzi. You'll be legally protected. $1 billion wall of immunity. You don't want to marry me. You want to shield your investment. His jaw clenched. Maybe I started this to protect my bloodline, he said. But I'm not blind. I see you. I see how you hold your belly when you think no one's watching. How you cry at night but still smile in the morning. You're not just some girl. You're strong. Stronger than most women I've known. Including her. Her, meaning his dead wife. Nia's heart twisted, but before she could respond, the lights cut out. Silence. Then a loud boom. An explosion in the east wing. Screams followed. Gunfire. And Zaid was already running. He grabbed a pistol from behind a mirror, threw a steel keycard at Nia, and yelled, get to the vault. Take Khalid. Don't stop running. Khalid. The boy. The secret son. Nia's mind whirled as she darted through the smoky hallways, dodging debris and the shrill scream of alarms. But nothing prepared her for what she saw in the nursery. The body of one of the maids, bloody, lifeless, and Layla, holding Khalid in her arms. Nia gasped. What are you doing? Layla spun around with a knife pressed to the boy's neck. Oh please, don't act surprised, she hissed. This brat stole the future that belonged to my children. Layla, he's a baby. And yet, more powerful than you'll ever be, she sneered. Zaid will never marry you. He's using you. He always has. Nia's hands trembled, but her voice didn't. Then why are you so afraid of a baby? Layla's eyes narrowed, and that's when Nia saw it. She wasn't just jealous, she was unhinged. Before Layla could strike, a bullet shattered the window, and Zaid burst into the room, shooting the knife clean out of her hand. Layla screamed and dropped Khalid. Nia lunged forward, catching him just in time. Zaid stood over Layla, panting, gun still raised. You should have stayed gone, he said darkly. Kill me, she spat. But it won't stop them. They're already coming, and this time, they'll tear your palace apart. Later that night, with Khalid sleeping between them and blood still drying on the marble, Zaid turned to Nia and said something she never expected. I was wrong. About what? You weren't just a shield. You're the only reason we're alive right now. Nia blinked through the exhaustion. So what now? He looked at her with something terrifying and tender all at once. Now we burn it all down, and build our empire from the ashes. She was supposed to be a pawn. Now, she holds the key to an empire that blood alone could never protect. But just when the war seems over, a twist shatters everything she thought she knew. 6 weeks later, the palace was empty, not of people, but of threats. Layla had been exiled to an unknown location. Her family disowned her to save face. And the assassins sent by the Darzi enemies? Hunted, wiped out. Zaid had declared silent war, and won. But it had cost him more than bullets and blood. It cost him trust. Nia now lived in the Gold Suite, but no longer as a prisoner. She was the lady of the house, his fiancée, the future mother of not one, but two Darcy heirs. Yes, the ultrasound confirmed it. Twins, a boy and a girl. And for once, Nia allowed herself to dream, of love, of legacy, of peace. Zaid treated her like royalty now. Private chefs, silk robes, a wedding proposal on a yacht in Santorini. He even gave her access to the vault, a gesture no woman before her had ever earned. But the night before their wedding, Nia opened an envelope slid under her door. No sender, just one photo and 5 words scribbled in Arabic. He's not who he says. The photo? A birth certificate. It wasn't Khalid's, it was hers. Nia Aluchi Adebanjo, born in Nigeria, or so she believed. But the document said otherwise. Born, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Mother, Jamila Saeed al-Darzi. Father, Sheikh Farik al-Darzi. She froze. Darzi? Her fingers trembled. That couldn't be. Her parents had died in a car crash when she was 1. Raised in Lagos. Nothing fancy. No royal ties. But now? This document said she wasn't just a random virgin from Africa. She was royalty. She was Zaid's cousin. And in their culture, their union would be forbidden. Illegal. Scandalous. She confronted Zaid, holding the paper in one hand and rage in the other. He stared at it, silent, then whispered, "I've known, for 2 weeks. You knew? I didn't want to believe it. I sent a team to investigate. It's true. You're the daughter of my uncle, the brother no one speaks of. He married a Nigerian woman in secret. When they died, you vanished. No one ever thought to look in Africa." Nia stepped back. "So this whole time, you were building an empire on a lie?" "No," he said, moving closer. "I was building it on fate. Fate doesn't impregnate strangers with stolen sperm. But fate doesn't make 2 orphans heirs to a throne either," he said, voice rough. "We were both used, both hidden, and now, we're rewriting the rules." She looked down at her belly, twins growing inside her. A future written in scandal. In secrets. In stolen identities. "So what happens now?" she whispered. Zaid's eyes burned into hers. "We marry, not because we have to, but because together, we are the beginning of a new Darcy dynasty." She should have slapped him. She should have run. Instead, she walked into his arms, and whispered, "Then let the world watch us burn." Subscribe for more scandalous billionaire stories that will leave your jaw on the floor.